I don't know how it didn't start off with the soundtrack, but the soundtrack just kicks this whole film off with these R&B songs from the 70s, and the soundtrack itself is just amazing. If you haven't had a chance to listen to it, I suggest going out and get it. It's amazing. Yes, it's another one of those soundtracks that I do own upstairs.
Yes, going out and getting it.
Yes.
If this is 1998.
He uses a VCR to record things.
Yeah, so
go pay for it.
I'm old school. Leave me alone.
You have an iPhone.
Yeah, I know. Well, my flip phone wasn't working anymore. I couldn't take pictures with it. Samuel L. Jackson, in one of the scenes, he orders a screwdriver. That's when I started drinking screwdrivers. I was like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting, and I tried it, and it's good. So I have this movie to thank for that.
All I kept thinking as I was watching this movie was, he looks just like Mace Windu.
I also thought it was funny. We mentioned Tiny Lister. I did think it was funny, though, just seeing him in a polo shirt. Because that's probably the last thing you would imagine to see him in. Now, this film, as I mentioned, was an Elmore Leonard book. This is probably, as far as books go, books to film, the ones that I've seen, this is probably comes the closest to anything transferred over from book. Everything is pretty much not word for word, but scene for scene. There might be, a couple little things taken out, but it's just a perfect adaptation of a book. Other than that, I mean, just watching the film itself, I didn't really see any things that shouldn't have been used or stuff that could be cut out. Because, as we said, it's a 2.5-hour film, but just watching it, it's like, oh, that could have been taken out, or this could have been taken out. No, this thing was just absolutely perfect from beginning to end. Commercial time.
Oh, yeah. Hey there. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Indy Brad Scott, INDY Brad Scott. Coming very soon, IndyBradScott.com. January 2nd and 3rd, the Comedy Zone in Charlotte, Michigan. 9th and 10th, Jokers in Milwaukee. 15th through the 17th, Crackers Comedy Club in Broad Ripple for Steve Ranazizi from the League. And the 23rd to 24th, Wausau, Wisconsin at Cuckoo's Nest Comedy Club.
Vic, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at MillerKing51 and on Xbox, soon to be Xbox One at Black and Angry, BLAQ.
You're upgrading?
Yeah, I'm keeping both of them. Yeah. I keep all my systems. And now the freaking PlayStation has made its way to my goddamn bedroom. I'm having issues. I'm not happy about this.
You can find me at NKOGonzo on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And you can find The Showdown on Twitter as well, at The Showdown Pod. Tweet at us, follow us. And also, if you're listening on Stitcher or Spreaker or iTunes, please give us a like, give us some comments, a thumbs up, whatever platform does. And we'd appreciate it. So, back to the show.
Enough is enough! I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane!
Yeah, indeed, that's exactly what Jackie Brown was missing. In Jackie Brown, you didn't have any motherfucking snakes on a motherfucking plane.
Well, they were never actually on a plane, so...
Did you watch the same Jackie Brown that I did?
There was no scenes on a plane, so there could not have been any snakes on set.
But I'm saying, you have a whole movie about flight, and you don't throw one reptile into the mix. So, Snakes on a Plane was the movie I chose. It honestly is probably the most iconic performance, I'd say, in Sam Jackson's career.
Really?
I'd say if you ask the common person what they know Samuel L. Jackson's movies, I guarantee Snakes on a Plane is probably the first one they think of.
Or maybe Mace Windu, since that's all you said through the Jackie Brown episode, that all I kept thinking about is Mace Windu. Not the character from Snakes on a Plane. Also,
Because
I
of the
don't know,
way his
Nick
hair
Fury.
was.
There's
No. Nick,
Yes.
really? You think the common person is going to be like, oh yeah, Nick Fury from that one movie that came out?
I know that one movie, like Captain America 2, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3.
What's the big quote from Nick Fury? There we go. So, Snakes on a Plane starts off basically with we see it's a beautiful scene in Hawaii, which I'm always a big fan of any movie that has a location in Hawaii because that's where I was born. We see I was born in Honolulu. True story. We see a guy on a motorcycle.
I need to see your birth certificate.
Actually, I have it in my wallet. Yeah. You want,
Mr. Obama.
You want this?
Why do you carry your birth certificate?
Your actual birth certificate.
Because I had to have it. For
Folks, it's
something
official.
one day.
He has provided his birth certificate, and it does say Honolulu. Hawaii.
You talk like you text.
See, it's not.
No, I had to have it for something one day, and I threw it in my wallet. I just have it taken out. Yeah. So, anyways, beautiful scene in Hawaii. Gentleman is riding a motorcycle, just casually hanging, and all of a sudden, he comes across a man hanging, and the guy says, "Get the fuck out of here! It's pretty bad shit's coming this way." The guy runs away, and lo and behold, Eddie Kim. Don't think that's Liu Kang. I thought it was at first too. They all look very similar. Not all alike. Very similar. So this gentleman, I can't remember his name. We'll call him the white guy. Daniel. It was Daniel. Daniel sees this, takes off. Eddie Kim sees Daniel seeing this, so he sends guys after him. Daniel goes home. He's, sitting there watching TV, and they're talking about how much of a badass Eddie Kim is, and how he just kills everybody. And all of a sudden, these guys start to break into his house. And all of a sudden, you see him get grabbed, and lo and behold, it's our hero, Samuel motherfucking Jackson. What? Am I boring?
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Am I boring you?
No.
And what was the line that he said? I watched this last night. I should know this, but I'm trying to think of what it was right now off the top of my head. I forgot to put it in my notes.
I don't know. I don't know what you're referring to.
The first line, because it comes back up. You know what I'm talking about? Google that for me.
Oh, you mean the line you played at the beginning of this
No.
part?
No. You know what? Let's find it. So, but anyway, Samuel Jackson saves him. You know what? I'm going to find this.
Anyhow, this was a B film. This I'm surprised this even went to theaters. It should have been on the Sci-Fi Channel for as cheesy as it was. I think the only thing that saved it from going to the Sci-Fi Channel was probably Samuel and maybe Julia Margulies, but that's up for debate with her.
Do as I say, and you will live. That was the line.
That's an amazing, amazing line.
No, but it comes back up. So anyways, so go ahead. What were you saying?
I was saying that this film should have just gone straight to Sci-Fi Channel or straight to video because this movie is just so cheesy.
But that's what makes it great. I mean, that's honestly what makes it great. And honestly, why would it go straight to Sci-Fi when it can make $62 million?
Well, that's 62 million dumb people that paid to see it.
Well, no, this tickets are $1.
I know.
A piece. But no, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be cheesy. It's supposed to be, kind of corny. That's what makes it great. It's one of those movies. It's one of those movies that's so bad that it's good.
And I'm going to correct you.
And that's kind of Sam Jackson's thing. It's a movie Sam Jackson would be in. That's what, you would just... No one was surprised that Sam Jackson was doing this movie about snakes on a plane. They were just like, oh, I kind of want to see that. It's kind of a good concept. It's original. I mean, it's not... There's no book it's fucking based off. At least it's somebody's original thought that they're making. They didn't have to go word for word from a book. I mean, we should be doing this podcast. Maybe I should have picked a Cat in the Hat, Dr. Seuss, something like that, to argue your movie. since it was so word for word from the fucking book.
I didn't know Samuel Jackson was in Cat in the Hat. I'm tired of these
Daisy
motherfucking things.
Thing motherfucking 1 and thing motherfucking 2. Get the fuck out of my house.
You would have shot him immediately.
AK-47. Yeah. Gotta kill a thing.
He gets Daniel out of there, and he tells him, hey, I'm with the FBI. We're going to get you, if you testify for us, we'll make sure you're protected. We'll get you witness protection, blah, blah, blah. So he gets him onto a plane, and they commandeer the entire first class, which it's a badass plane. It's got 2 levels. First class is actually above. It's was a Boeing something, 727, I think it was. And they take over the first class, and then you meet the cast of passengers. You have the classic couple that just got done with their honeymoon, that are all in love, and they're really sweet, nice people. The husband's really anxious about flying. You have the girl from Clueless. Clueless, the TV show.
I was about to correct you on that one.
No. I know my Clueless. I'm actually a huge fan. She's awesome. You had 3Gs. Who was actually the original 2 Chainz. That's actually who 2 Chainz based his entire persona off of, was 3Gs from Snakes on a Plane. Don't fact check that. And actually, I like 3Gs because I kind of understood, where he, remember when he's trying to fuck the girl from Clueless and he, tells her to come, and she has that, she's supposed to be kind of like a Paris Hilton type. That's kind of who she was based off. And she has that little dog that keeps jumping on his lap, and he's like, oh, yeah, no, it's cool, but get this thing the fuck off me. That's how I am. I can't fucking stand
other people's dogs.
Just when they jump on me and stuff, not a fan. And then people are always like, "Oh, but he's just playful."
He likes you.
Maybe I'm not that. Yeah, exactly. Maybe I don't like him.
Feelings not mutual.
But yeah, and 3G is also accompanied by his 2 bodyguards. Kenan Thompson being one of them. Kenan Thompson is underrated.
Kenan Thompson as a bodyguard, though. Come on now.
No, Kenan. Well, he's more. No, remember, he's just more of his buddy. Buddy. The other dude, the big dude, was supposed to be more
entourage.
Yeah, because remember, he says he's the one that's supposed to just have his back and do stuff for him and tell people to not touch him. That's the other thing. 3Gs is also a germaphobe. So he doesn't want people to touch him.
He's trying to have sex with a random white chick on a plane.
Well,
yeah, it makes sense. Huh?
You know what? Hey, that dog might be dirty, but that pussy is clean.
Oh my God.
So, you also have the old drunk. I don't think she was just, I think, trashy with makeup, but she kind of had an Asian vibe to her. You almost waited for it to be Miss Kim or whatever from it's right. And almost that lady that's always the stereotypical Asian grandmother. Asian, that's who I expected to play that part, but no. Then the other, I also you had the 2 kids flying by themselves for their first time to go back to their mom, and you're like, well, these kids are never gonna fucking fly again anywhere ever. This is gonna be pretty traumatizing because lo and behold, Eddie Kim has stashed away some snakes on this plane. Not only that, he sprayed all the Hawaiian leis and flowers with pheromones to make the snakes extremely aggressive and make them want to kill people. So
actually, it makes them want to fuck.
Well, but when they can't fuck, they also kill. I mean, so they put all dudes. It's just a big.
There's only one female in the front of the plane.
It was a big snakeage fest. So
that was horrible.
So the flight's in the air. Everybody's having a good time. 3Gs is trying to get them to just trying to fuck that bitch. And you also have the flight crew, Juliana. I can't say her last name.
Marlise.
Yes, who's great. Which this is kind of a really good cast if you look it over. Again, Kenan, really, really underrated. But so do you have Juliana? This is her last trip.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. It is a really good cast for a sci-fi film.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my God! If you just could have seen the level of pretentious douchiness that was on that face when he said that. So, anyways, she's doing her last hurrah, before she's moving, I believe she's moving on to like a different airline or something, right? She was moving on to something. She kept talking about how she's going to miss everything. And you also had at the same time the grand